What's up, folks? You are tuned into the Failing Frequency. My name is Ethan.
And I'm Mike.
And sometimes the spinners of a fate can be cruel bitches. But sometimes they smile down on us and they give us 2 episodes in 1 week. That's right, folks. Second Failing Frequency of the week. This week, today,
when you're seeing it yesterday's.
Yeah. We will be covering the latest episode of Lower Decks, which was Crisis Point 2.
Paradoxus.
Parallelogram. Paradoxus. Parallax. Yes, that. There's no news this week because we literally just did the news the other day and there was fucking shitloads of news. So
it's going to feel like a real light episode, isn't it?
Yeah, man. So we're just going to cover the episode. But before we do that, how you doing, Mike?
I've got COVID again.
Oh, mate, sucks.
Yeah. It does.
Do you know what flavor do you reckon you've got?
It doesn't seem as bad as the first time I had it, so I don't know. I don't know. I've run out of Greek alphabet. That I know. Omega. Feels very final if it's Omega.
Maybe we should go on to a different alphabet. We should go on to the Saxon alphabet. Maybe you've got Thorn.
Yeah. Oh, can we go on to Egyptian first though? I want to be like Reed.
Oh, fancy.
Fancy.
Oh no. Oh, he can't come. Why? He's got eye.
He's got the eye of Horus.
He's got the eye of Horus. COVID.
Yeah.
Oh, nuts.
Yeah. How are you doing anyway, mate?
I don't know what it is today, but I woke up bass backwards. I've had some electricity related issues, but it's all right because I went on a treadmill and I managed to generate enough energy for us to record this.
What the listeners and viewers can't see is you pedaling furiously below the desk to keep the computer going.
Yeah, man, but like I can keep my upper body completely still, like Michael Flatley, Lord of the Dance.
So we're talking Lower Decks, Season 3, Episode 8, Crisis Point 2, Paradoxus, as you said.
Mm-hmm.
Non-spoilers, what did you think of the episode?
I thought it was very good. I thought it was definitely better than last week's episode.
Yeah. So was COVID.
Fucking... What else can you say? Non-spoilery. This episode does a good job of balancing story, reference, and comedy. I felt a very good job of balancing all three. Yeah. What about yourself?
I thought it was a decent episode, decent message. It's a heavy on the reference episode, and I was considering putting together a Easter eggs of this episode, but I don't know if I've got the strength within me.
That's all right. I'm just going on to Trek Movie or TrekCore.com. I can't remember which, and I'm not looking up to the address bar to find out.
Yeah.
They've already done all that.
They've already done it. Okay.
So we'll just put like straight up disclaimer right now.
Link,
Yeah, we are cribbing off these fools.
Yeah. I've got a list of them. I just didn't. I was going to put them in video. I thought it was a very busy episode. I wrote down my 2-minute story walkthrough or whatever, reviewing the story before spoilers, and it's fucking long this week. I tell you, it's hard to do. But I thought it was a good episode. It feels like they must shove a lot of production budget into some episodes and not others.
Yes.
Like animation effort.
Yeah, the animation in this episode, I won't go into some too much details as to why, just because I thoroughly enjoyed it, but yes, there is some clear noticeable improvements to the quality. Like, I wouldn't even say improvements, but it's much higher quality
Yeah.
of animation in this episode than the rest of the episode. A lot more frames.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, other than that, good episode.
Mhm.
And how quick was that? Do we want to move on to the story review and see if I can read in my state? And
Yeah,
then we
man.
can do spoilers. I feel like I need to sneeze at the same time. If I sneeze halfway through, then I'll try and edit it, or at least mute me. So the lower deckers are back on the holodeck with another movie recreation. This time it's written by Boimler. In the movie, our crew is on a sovereign class in the pursuit of some Romulans who've stolen a Federation time crystal. Unfortunately, Boimler gets called out of the program and given some bad news. When he comes back, he's in a pretty unfocused state, getting distracted from the main story onto a background actor promising the answers to life's important questions. So he goes off with Mariner in tow, complaining to pursue that, leaving Tendi in charge on the main movie plot. On the Tendi Rutherford plot, they're pursuing the Romulans using time crystals and going to different time periods. As Tendi gets increasingly serious while Rutherford is just enjoying the action, Tendi explodes on Rutherford because she thinks he's not taking it seriously enough, or her seriously as an acting captain, because eventually she wants to be one. Rutherford said she doesn't need to movie to prove herself, and he'd love her to be his captain. They go back in time with the time crystals, swap the time crystal for the Romulan bomb that there is at some point in the episode, and defeat the Romulans before the movie starts. Mm-hmm. Mariner is sick of how boring and weird the plot has got with Boimler, and leaves the holodeck, goes to Ransom and finds out that earlier he told Boimler that his transporter duplicate had died. Mariner goes back in to support Boimler, supports him through the side story of the movie as he searches for meaning in life. Boimler and Mariner go to a planet, talk to a rock god, but he can only answer Boimler's questions, searches for meaning with inspirational quotes. Boimler crawls through the rock god and finds himself...
Sorry, you say rock god.
Rock
like,
god.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Tony
Iommi.
Finds a partially covered plaque like Vija of the Kitty Hawk, but he blacks out because of heat exhaustion. When he's blacked out, he's on Kirk's farm and he sees Sulu. Sulu tells him if he spends his life worrying about a meaningless death, he'll never find joy. Boimler wakes up in the med bay with a new lease on life. Cliffhanger ending. The Boimler clone isn't dead. He's been picked up by Section 31. Dun, dun, dun. That was a long... That was so much of that. If you haven't watched the episode, I've thrown so much of it out.
I think it just felt like a long time for you because like you're unwell. Like,
I'm moving in slow motion or fast motion. I don't know which one would make it feel longer. I'm moving in some sort of motion. Yeah. So it's a reference city episode, just like last holodeck movie one, isn't it really?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Like references right from the start of the episode. And like Trek references, yes. But also some non-Trek references as well. First reference that I noticed, which is actually a little bit of both, and I want to talk about the Casinti. So at the start of the episode when we're on the Cerritos, the helmsman or the ops, I'm still not sure about those two front stations. Is a member of the Casinti, which is an alien race that was featured in the animated series.
I think the episode is,
but also, and why I think that this is fun is because the Casinti are not actually from Star Trek.
What?
Yes, the Casinti.
Okay. I don't know this one.
Yeah, the Casinti are a I'm just reading off the
I know the fictional.
Are a fictional, warlike, and bloodthirsty race of cat-like aliens in Larry Niven's known space series.
Okay.
Scrolling down, the Cassindi were also written by Niven into the Star Trek universe, appearing first in the animated series. And then a character was in Star Trek Lower Decks and in Starfleet universe, as well as material for Star Trek Enterprise that was never produced because of the series' cancellation.
I like the instead of the "it's the Enterprise," it's the Wayfarer. So first contact straight away.
Yep. It's 1 sec. Let me just make sure.
One thing I was going to say about the animation, we were saying it feels like more expensive this episode. I suppose because it's got the movie bars to make it extra widescreen. You've got less to animate anyway. So the bit that you're animating, you can put a bit more time into.
Yes. Yeah, so the animation is definitely, it's a lot slicker in this episode. There's a lot, they've managed to, I guess they've just used more budget in this episode. Like you say, they've got cinematic bars, so
There's film grain. There's
it was beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, it was beautiful. The film grain. It wasn't so much film grain. There's a very subtle difference between like film grain and film stock, looking like it's on film stock. Like you can put film grain on digital and it'll just look like film grain on digital. But if you film something on digital, and there's a way of making it look like it's on film stock, and that's what it had going, and it's good.
It really busted out the After Effects plugins.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Wayfarer. I've tried to find my Wayfarers to wear.
Oh yeah.
But I couldn't find them. But yeah, bloody Boimler's named his ship after a pair of sunglasses.
I was trying to think, because I was doing Reference City. Is there anything inside Trek that would be Wayfarer? And I was like, no. I can't think of anything.
I don't know if there is. What is the definition of a Wayfarer? A person who travels on foot. Hey, that's so in the USS Pedestrian.
Yeah. Suppose it matches for the lower deckers,
Yeah.
Very pedestrian. They should be.
Yeah, but Wayfarer sounds more noble.
Yeah.
And
it's damn fine looking ship. Sovereign always looks great and cinematic. It's pulling off the same sort of moves as the Enterprise in the Battle of 001 or whatever.
Yeah.
So good. Yeah. Lovely.
Well, those are the moves that it can do.
Yeah. They're the ones that the animators have got reference for.
Absolutely. What was his name? Pucephalus
Dagger. Yeah.
So yeah, we're in Crisis Point 2 parallelogram. We're hanging out with Pucephalus Dagger. What the fuck? I tried looking for this name, but I can't figure out how to spell it.
No.
Every time I've searched for the name, it has come up with did you mean? And then it's like pussy face. But it's it's a great name.
And of the names, there seem to be, as you were saying before, references outside of Trek, in that there's 2 James Bond ones.
Helena Getsom.
Is that one of the names in it? I wasn't even counting that.
So
who's Helena Getsom?
Helena Getsom is she's not like a character from Bond, but it's that whole pussy galore.
Is that Mariner's character name in it then?
No, that's Mariner's love interest's name. Helena Getsom.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
And I was what's
And there are 3 Bond star names in there.
It's not as good. Yes, I thought I had that right. It's not as good as the femme fatale character from Dr. Bashir's spy novel whose
now
name
you're
was
testing me.
Mona Loves It, which
How they got away with that 90s TV.
it's
Censors just
fantastic.
didn't care.
Mona
Clearly.
Loves It. It's because when you watch it, he says it so straight.
Yeah.
This is my good friend. Mona Loves It.
Mm.
Does she?
Does she indeed? Bet she
Uh,
does. The
but yeah,
two
what were the
I
other
had were
Bond references?
Tendi. Her last name's Vesper,
Ah, yes.
and then Boimler's little bug mate is called Knick-Knack.
Yeah, yeah.
So there's Knick-Knack, Vesper, and the femme fatale name.
And Helena gets some.
Helena gets some. Yeah.
Oh man, it was funny when like he's not interested, and she's just like, well, I don't know what to do now.
Yeah. It's
That's my whole
programmed in.
part in this
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess Crisis Point 2 likely does not pass the Bechdel test. You know what the Bechdel
No,
test
yeah.
is.
I was trying to think
You
if
know what the you better know what the Bechdel test
I know
is.
what the
Oh,
Bechdel test is.
the women will never forgive you.
Yeah, I was thinking of the Tendi plot, but of course she pretty much only talks to Rutherford. So yeah, no.
And there is a time limit, like two female characters have to be in a scene with no other men, talking about something that isn't the main protagonist for
Or the
like
man or a man.
for like longer than a minute.
Yeah.
I
I don't think much animation would pass that, to be fair. Because more
Nope.
than a minute in animation is a hell of a long time to stay in a scene.
Yes.
Yeah. It's not an amazing test anyway, the Bechdel test, because stuff like I forget what movie it is, but like women in bikini washing cars, movies like that sometimes pass it, and then just Indiana Jones doesn't sometimes. And you're like, well, it's a strong female character versus some women in bikinis washing a car, and you're going to say the bikini washing a car one is better, more feminist.
I would
Well,
say that it's better
than Indiana Jones.
Temple of Doom.
Interesting that you didn't say the one Indiana Jones that you could shit on.
Oh, the other one. I always forget about that one.
Yeah,
Crystal Skull.
Crystal Skull.
I had to remember what the name was.
Yeah,
it was a fucking Indiana Jones versus the Ruskies. Yeah, I've totally forgot that film existed. Oh God, there's another one coming, isn't there?
There is.
Oh my God,
is it this year or is it next year? It must be next year, next Christmas. Yeah.
You mean to tell me I could have just sold the likeness to my voice, and you could have just deep faked me into this goddamn movie?
There's the trailer of that from D23 is leaked. You know, if you want to watch a de-aged Harrison Ford, it's weird. It's weird.
Yeah.
What other references did we like anyway, inside or outside of track?
Big fan of the street punks that they beat up, and then he steals the clothes. That's the Terminator reference.
Yeah, Terminator and the Voyage Home, because one of them had the boombox, didn't they?
Yeah.
But they did have the coloured hair from Terminator.
And he stole his clothes.
Yeah. He's getting the pants at least.
Give me your clothes and your gun. I loved Knick-Knack. I loved his introduction. Just like, I'm Knick-Knack. Like, fuck yeah, Knick-Knack. And I was very like weirdly, I don't know why I like characters like Knick-Knack who are just there for the sake of they're there for the sake of being there. And then later on in the episode, when he's still there, I was really happy.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, Knick-Knack's here. Nice.
He's a bit what's Korg's mate from 4?
Oh yeah, like Meek.
Yeah, Meek.
Me and my mates we called it when we watched Ragnarok. We were like, he's Rock, Meek Scissors. And then for ages we just called him Scissors.
Yeah.
And then like later on when he's in the fight, when he comes in, it's like, it's scissors.
Scissors. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the regular one uniforms from Wrath of Khan, and like the briefing, the Federation briefing.
Yes.
On this random fucking made up land time crystal.
Yeah. So the friggin' time crystal. What? Because like it wasn't a crystal. It was a, what they called it? A chronogami, because it's like time. It does time. It folds time. So it's chronogami.
Yeah.
Time origami.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that was fine. That unfortunately it's another story where they go, oh, Tendi and Rutherford, you have a plot, and Mariner and Boimler, you have a different plot. So I was like, okay, well, if they're moving these guys along separately, then fine. Worked fine enough as a portal to jump through. That holodeck must be working overtime though, because it's doing like 2 different time periods at the same time.
I was a big fan. Yeah, the bit like, so after they split off in 2, and then obviously Mariner and Boimler have a little argument, and Mariner storms off. Big fan of Mariner stepping over the bars to get out of the holodeck. It's good.
Did you call the transporter clone not being dead?
No, I was thinking. I didn't like the for ages. I thought that like Mariner was gonna get fired, and that's why Boimler was all sad. He was like, "I've got to fire you after this."
I thought they were potentially being like transferred away from each other onto like different ships,
something like that. Yeah. But no, actual like grand, much bigger stake. Bad news. Should we talk about that? It's that's a fucking, that's some shit.
Yeah,
that's a very feels more like the kind of if this was an episode of Voyager, we'd be lingering on this for a bit.
What, the death of a clone?
Yeah.
Well, we say that, but Harry Kim is technically a clone in Voyager from like
Harry
season
Kim.
1 and halfway through season 1 on, and it's like, just ignore that.
Yeah, but I liked it in the at the end of, I think it's that episode where Janeway's like, "You've just had a really crazy fucking experience, so maybe sit with it for a minute, like think about it, think about what just happened, and how does what just happened, and how you feel about it, how is that going to shape the way you see the world and go through your life in general?" Of course, that was 90s TV making, so by next episode,
he'd forgotten.
Yeah, but he was over it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the thing. Like, what would it mean? Like, it is fucking like they talk about like the randomness of death.
Yeah.
Later on in the episode, Sulu's talking about it. He's like,
very poignant after like, what was it, 2 or 3 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Michelle Nichols. Yeah.
Don't dwell on the possibility of death, or you won't live life. And like that's as far as like life lessons go, highly specific.
I thought there was a meaning in this one, like episode as a whole, beyond the Sulu thing, that wasn't as specific.
Oh yeah, there's like being afraid of a fear of failure.
Not
I
not
know, I
even
know,
that.
I know.
Well,
A
yeah,
fear of failure has I didn't
yeah.
enlist. I didn't enlist. I didn't enlist at university. I didn't
You
enroll
join
at
the army.
Yeah, I didn't enroll at university till I was 27 because I
Hmm.
was too scared of failing.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is an important lesson.
See, that
Um,
I know we're doing the meaning of the episode, like all the messages we got early, but I had your friends can support you if they know what you're going through. That's both Mariner to Boimler and Rutherford to Tendy, where they don't know what the other one's going through,
mm,
and they're like brushing it off and just being flippant. And the
yeah,
second they know, they're like on top of it, being supportive, suggesting therapy. They're doing all that jazz.
yeah,
They're being good friends.
absolutely. It's
Yeah.
a problem shared is a problem halved, as they say.
Or doubled.
No, I did like the there was a bit where Mariner was saying, um, talking about when she goes back to him,
Mm.
when she goes back to Boimler, and they're like, "Let's do this film,"
Yeah.
and she says something along the lines of, "Yes, it's derivative or whatever,
Yeah.
but it's a Starfleet movie, which means it's worth making."
Yeah.
Um, Tell that
To
to
Paramount.
Star Trek 4.
Yeah.
You are not worth making.
No. We've
Um,
got budget issues on this side,
yeah,
Mariner. We're not in post scarcity society.
yeah, no,
Chris
not
Pine
yet.
won't work for free.
It's not quite worth making yet.
Mm-hmm. So, Tendy, Rutherford. I like the octopus, the octopi, the octopus's plot,
Hmm. Oh
which is
yes,
just
we got a little window into the algae crisis.
yeah,
What is the algae crisis?
but it's
What do
just
you reckon?
lifted as well from Voyage Home, in that there's this aquatic creature that will become important in the
Hmm.
future, and some people have, they need to protect it in the past. I thought that was
Yeah.
good. Yeah,
But then the Romulans go back in time to kill its ancestor,
yeah.
and that's why we get a Terminator reference. There
Dun,
we
dun,
go.
dun, dun,
It
dun.
all
Yeah.
came. It all came back around.
Mm.
I just need to check to see if there was quite a few of the creators' names in this episode.
Hmm.
So we got some name references in the episode. There is a planet named after one of the creators.
Yep.
There is. I've
There's a
forgotten
planet
what it.
named after Shax's voice actor. It's his last
There
name.
is. Yep,
Mm-hmm.
that's the one.
Okay.
His Rutherford's name, Toussaint, is the
Toussaint.
name of the actress who plays Tashia's sister.
Oh
Um,
yeah, yeah.
and
Ridiculously attractive woman who they put in
yes,
skin tight clothes. Yeah,
yeah,
I
man,
remember.
crazy,
Yeah.
crazy, stupid fly.
Yeah.
But oh, here we go. Wait a minute. I'm just seeing if there is a double reference.
The rock
Okay.
planet they go to at the end is called like Shatnery, which might be Shockery and Shatner put together. Since that's the Star Trek 5 bit of it, I suppose.
Yeah, so there's obviously the Toussaint. Sorry, I'm just like double checking before I'm deciding what is
Yeah.
and isn't a reference to what. Yeah, I'm deciding that that's what it is. It's obviously so. There's obviously Beth Toussaint who played Tashia's sister, and then there is, and I'm deciding that this is what the reference is, what's in reference to is Alan Toussaint, the famous New Orleans jazz musician.
Yeah.
And I'm deciding that it's a reference to him because uh, he died. When did he die?
Rutherford does try and do the
Oh
classic
God,
New
he died.
Orleans
Yeah, he
accent
does
as
the new.
well.
God, he died in 2015. Oh my God,
Yeesh.
that was years ago.
In the before times.
Sorry, I'm just like realizing, like, oh man, I
You're going to
swear
have
he
your own
died last
existential
year.
crisis, you know.
Yeah, I swear he died last year.
Mm,
Nope, he died 7 years ago.
yeah.
That's crazy. Sorry, I like jazz in New Orleans and stuff. But yeah, so Rutherford was named after a famous New Orleans jazz musician.
Mm-hmm.
Tendi was named after a famous Bond femme fatale.
You know
What else
what
we got to talk
we
about?
haven't even. I was expecting us to excitingly jump to at the very start in spoilers. It's George Takei, isn't it?
Yes, I've been wait. I was wondering, should we get to that? Should we get to that?
Yeah, let's skip forward.
Fucking George Takei.
George
I
fucking
was like,
Takei.
when we got to the thing, when we got to the barn,
Hmm.
I was like, oh shit,
I was like,
Mike's
oh, it's
gonna be
gonna be
furious.
another episode of Shatner Face
Ah,
all over
nope, no
again.
shat in the face.
Yeah,
Just Sulu. Just Sulu. I'm not gonna say Sulu face because that feels vaguely racist.
yeah. And
But
Boimler even
oh
says
no,
like,
I
oh,
said
even
it.
better.
Even better. Yeah,
Yeah,
even better.
yeah,
It's funny. Yeah,
yeah.
man, it was awesome. He sounds
He
that's
sounds
the
good.
he sounds great. He sounds exactly the same as he sounded in all the animated show appearances he's made over the years. He
Yeah,
doesn't sound any older, but he is.
much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Protect him. And yeah, incredibly sad when he's talking about friends he's lost along the way, especially
Yeah.
after Nichols.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, good story points. It's weird showing an afterlife, maybe possibly an afterlife.
Mm.
But you know,
Was the koala in it?
there was a koala mention. Maybe
Oh,
at
the
that point.
koala smiles on us all.
Yeah,
Yeah. Tatasciore. That's the
thing.
Tatashore, I think is how it's pronounced, but it's an
Okay.
Italian looking name, so I'm guessing it was probably pronounced like that once.
Yeah,
But yeah, I liked all of the vague spiritual chicanery that was
yeah,
happening in this episode. The saying that the guy saying that he's got all the he's
oh,
follow me, I have the answers, and then when you say what are the answers, he's stalling for time.
yeah,
Like, yep, that's what charlatans do.
yeah,
The god, the rock god, fucking Joe Satriani. It's giving off just like random shitty life advice.
yeah.
Like
Just
vague.
reminded me of a fucking Aladdin cave, you know,
Yeah,
animated
yeah.
Aladdin, where it's just like rah.
It just reminded me of Jordan Peterson.
Yeah,
That's it. It's just
clean
vague.
your room.
Yeah, it's just vague self-help bullshit
Yeah,
as being the secrets to leading a happy life.
yeah.
Yeah, that's all any of that is.
Mm. I did have a laugh with the Kitty Hawk though.
Yeah, that was funny.
After following through this, trying to find this planet and this god, and it's just a Kitty Hawk. It's like that doesn't make sense.
How did it get there? It couldn't even stay on. It couldn't even stay off the ground for like 20 seconds.
Yeah.
Like,
The beauty of it being a movie though is it didn't have to. It's not necessarily there anyway. So
well, no, there is
it's
a
all
line.
poetic.
There is a line where they're saying like, this isn't all about action. This is an exploration into the human condition.
Yeah,
And Marinus like, that's boring.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, that's what all the producers of every Star Trek movie has ever thought, and that's why like Star Trek films are not like Star Trek shows.
yeah. For all the hate Star Trek 5 gets, it at least ends. Most of it ends on talking to God or talking to a God?
Or question. Well, no, it ends with
Yeah.
questioning God,
Yeah.
which I do like.
What would God need with a starship? Indeed.
Oh man, imagine if
Mm.
Star Trek 4 had have involved that, and instead of what does God need with a starship, there was a full-on like battle, like Neon Genesis Evangelion style, like a giant naked god, dick swinging around in outer space, just grabbing starships and.
Well, the end of 5 did have more action in before the budget just
Yeah, man,
stopped, in
that'd
that
been
they had rock
sweet.
people there, and the behind the I don't know how the budget ran out because there's behind the scenes photos of the Rock, not the Rock, the Rock people.
Hmm.
So they must have made them and filmed something.
So what? Wait. So what? There were locals. Was there a
So
native population on Shakari?
no, you know how like the stones come out the ground in like a rib
Hmm.
cage sort of thing. There was
All
going to
right.
be rock people come out the ground as well and
Well,
try
like
and
giant.
like whatever, like 7 foot rock person. There's
Cool.
like behind the scenes photos of it, which I'll put up. I'll put up here. But it's a weird one. And then it was just like, I'm sorry, Mr. Shatner. It was the three-titted cat or the rock people, and you chose poorly.
Disagree.
Yeah,
No. The rock people would have been sweet. I'd
yeah,
still think a giant, naked, glowing god fighting a group of starships
yeah.
would have been way cooler.
It's amazing how like Strange New Worlds and Lower Decks now are like, no, Star Trek 5. It's a reference we won't shy away from. We'll lean into that.
Yeah, there's still if an and an ein Enterprise though, eh?
Yeah, I mean they could have done it this episode. They could have had them.
Yeah.
They're standing behind the chairs at the back of the room where the crew of the Enterprise was sitting. You could have just had them there.
Like they should have, to be honest.
Yeah. How hard is it to secure the likeness rights for Hoshi, Malcolm, and I don't know who else was sitting up there. No, not
Mayweather?
Mayweather, thank God.
Yeah.
He does have a name. He doesn't have plot lines, but he has a name.
I say like Mayweather. Oh, thank God he was there. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I mean, sitting in a chair is definitely what he does. So how would the rest of the crew have known what to do?
I imagine him sitting there with his arms locked up because that's how he's been sitting for the last 6 years.
So what? Like he's just there. Like, what are you pressing? There aren't any buttons. I don't know what else to do.
Just pressing the back of the head of the person in front of him, like sliding stuff up and down it. Oh, you boomer. We get a trajectory for Tendi in the wanting to be a captain. And we kind of had a bit of that already this season with a officer training with the bird, whatever his name is, Paul F. Tompkins, the bird. But a trajectory now for them. I wonder how long the show can go, because it is called Lower Decks, with them being on the Lower Decks, if they're, at least one of them's trying to advance.
It's a good question. I did enjoy. I always enjoy Tendi breaking out her inner femdom.
Yeah.
I
was trying to pull a reference for the flip over the ship, and all I could do was is that Underworld? Is that because Underworld from memory, or like Kate Beckinsale's movies, all of them have her flipping backwards with a camera looking down on her. Every single one. I was like, I'll just find that later on. If I do,
Yep.
if we do the Easter egg video, I'll find it.
Yeah, I thought it was funny that like Rutherford like seems to be the only male in the galaxy who does not respond to Tendy's femdom energy,
Yeah.
which is funny. The
Mm.
pheromones, I guess, don't work. Oh wait, she doesn't have them.
She
Does
doesn't
she?
have them.
She doesn't
Yeah.
have them. But yeah,
I
that
guess
was funny.
on a show like this, you don't want them to hook up way too early anyway.
No.
You know, you don't want How I Met Your Mother, Robin and Ted sort of stuff. Let's do Boimler, evil Boimler, or potentially evil Boimler. Do you think he's actually evil, or do you think he's infiltrating Section 31?
I don't think he's evil or infiltrating. I think he's just.
You just think he likes the progression or whatever?
Yeah, he just has what it.
progressing
Maybe he just has what it takes. You know,
Mm.
as the SAS say, "Who dares wins." You know, he dares.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not so sure that like. See, this is the thing. People often like say, but Section 31 is completely against the idea of Starfleet and the Federation. And I've always been like, yeah, but like you do kind of need. You do
You
kind
heard it
of
here
need.
first. Ethan, fascist.
I'm not. It's not fascism, but you do.
Need a secret police
You not secret police, but
operating clandestinely.
you do need a clandestine like operations sector. You do. Like everything can't be done out in the open. Sometimes you do need some shady people to go and, you know, I'm just like thinking sometimes you need to send Roald Dahl to America to sleep with politicians' wives to get them on board with joining the war effort.
So Boimler is going to go sleep with some Klingon women to
Hell yeah.
get them to be closer to the Federation.
Yeah, man, to get them all on board with repelling the pack lads.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be nice linking in if we can do in the future Boimler in, you know, William Boimler in 31 and delve into Rutherford's backstory at the same time. Because that seems 31-ish.
I wonder.
Yeah. Synergy.
Maybe those threads are gonna string together.
Yeah, quite possibly.
I liked the when Boimler wakes up from sleep, when he wakes up from visiting Sulu in the afterlife.
Yeah.
And they wheel in the next patient who's leant against the warp core and he's got fucking 3rd-degree burns all over his body.
Yeah.
And he screams, "Twice in one day!"
Yeah.
I like that. That was a good moment. I totally thought that today was the season finale.
Yeah.
Much like last week when I thought that this week was the season finale, and then we had a conversation about how it's not. I forgot that conversation. And as I was watching this episode, I was like, what? There's no...
I mean, this would have worked as a finale. You know, it's setting up a plot for next season, 2 plots for next season.
But that's what I thought that the cliffhanger was going to be. It was going to be setting up the Strange New Worlds crossover. But today was not the finale. That is next week?
No. 2 episodes left, I think.
Holy shit.
This was 8. This felt like 8.
Okay, so we still got 2 weeks, but I'm still holding out hope that's going to happen.
Yeah, they might have at the end of it, even if there isn't a after credits or whatever, or like in the story, they might just show a trailer with it. Maybe, who knows? I'll build our hopes up just to have them fall down in 2 weeks' time.
I can't believe. Do you know, as we've talked about, like, we don't get Enterprise references, as if we don't really get Discovery references. Most of the references we get are for classic and 90s Trek.
Well, Discovery was in the time period they're in. All records of Discovery were hidden. There's like maybe a minor reference.
I always forget that.
In the Tendi, I think, says about like having a tragic backstory or troubled childhood, and that could be Worf, that could be Michael, that could be a couple of them.
Just reading on trekmovie.com, Ransom reveals his besties on the ship are Honus, the bartender, Nurse Westlake, presumably named after the show's composer Chris Westlake, Matt the Whale.
All weird characters we've seen in the background before, isn't it? Really?
Yeah. Which would devastate all. He's calling these guys his besties, which would devastate Stevens.
Yeah.
Stevens also being the guy that is admitted into sickbay for burning himself on the warp core for the second time that day.
Yeah. Oh, a reference I can remember, or I've got in front of me, but didn't say before. Mariner says about time travel and them not going to kill JFK, which you must know this as well. It's not just a Red Dwarf reference.
Yeah, what was it? It was what film was it they wanted to do it in?
I think it was a couple of them. Gene Roddenberry had it like maybe as an episode idea for phase 2, and then it went into the movies, and Paramount or whoever were, pretty much universally saying, no, we can't have Spock shoot an ex-president.
Yeah, because I've heard a few conflicting stories about how it would play out. One would be that it would be like they go back to stop JFK's assassination, and then they don't, or they go back to, or they have to do it, or there's a few different ways that he wanted to do it, but he was definitely a bit obsessed with that, wasn't he?
He was. For whatever reason, he just wanted to, have JFK shot during Star Trek.
Well, I mean, I don't like that it happened, but I wanted to be the one to do it.
Yeah. But there's no show that can do it better than Red Dwarf did it anyway. So it's nice it not being covered by Trek, so Dwarf could do it. But on that happy note, shall we say so long? Talk to your friends.
Yeah, man. Talk to your friends.
Talk to your friends if you need support. Even if you don't need support, maybe your friends need support. Talk to people.
Yeah. The fear of failure can be a real bastard. But in the immortal words of Wayne Gretzky, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Michael Scott quote.
Yeah. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Wayne Gretzky, Michael Scott.
Yeah. In that case,
don't be afraid of death, but be aware that it is lurking around every corner.
I can't turn around at the moment, but yeah. Do a gag where I turn around just to see death. Peace and long life, double dumbasses.
Yeah, Kapla, you sons of bitches.